Can you guys hear me? Whoever's here, could you let me know? Because I'm testing out a new equipment I have, and I'm not even sure if it works right. Yeah, I'm live chatting from my office. Um, yeah, as you can see, I'm still moving in. Good morning. Good morning. If you can hear me, let me know. Because it says I have the volume on, but you know how these things are. Okay. I'm not going to be on here long. I'm testing this new feature and I want to see if it works. Let me put this on. See. Oh, little hearts. Laughing faces. Good morning. It's only 10 a.m. in southern Indiana. I'm about to go feed the worms an expired watermelon. So, anybody here, if you're here and you can hear me, just let me know in the chat. I'm testing this new equipment I have. Like I have a screen here, I have a screen here, and I'm like, where do I go? So have you been, whoever's here? I think there's somebody here watching. I'll wait a few minutes and see if anyone shows up. If you notice, I've been releasing my videos Saturday mornings. It just makes it easier for me to release a video Saturday morning, because on Friday I could just get my stuff done. So if you have, whoever's here, if you have any worm questions, put them in the chat. And thank you ahead for any gifts that I am sent, because sometimes I miss them in the chat and I want to make sure that I say thank you. Well, there's a heart. Okay. I haven't been live in a while, so sometimes they change the features on here. I'm not even sure like what to do, but anyway, we'll figure it out together, right? So how have you all been? I guess I should have announced that I was going live, but I didn't, because, you know, sometimes I do, but I'm very spontaneous. I wish I could play music in the background, but I can't because they'll flag me. So if anyone here is on TikTok, I post on there sometimes, and sometimes I go live on TikTok too. So if you're a TikToker, you could find me at Feed Your Crabs. I put the link usually at the bottom of my videos. But I have a rotten watermelon that I'm going to feed in a little bit to my new African night crawlers. And I'm getting ready to start working with my Louisiana swamp worms with the starter colonies, like they're ready. So if you have any questions about that, let me know down below. This looks good, this new screen. I like it. So as you can see, I'm still moving into my office. I have stuff back here. I have stuff back here. I'll get it done though. Want to chat worms? This type's nice. wonder if YouTube will let me drink water on here. Believe it or not, not Snapchat. TikTok does not let you. They don't let you drink anything on camera because they don't know what you're drinking, even though it's water. It could be another, clear liquid. So we've had some rough weather here in Indiana. It's been nuts. Tornadoes, tornado sirens, running to the basement. The other day I was so tired, the siren went off. I was in bed. I said, if I fly away like Dorothy, well, then I guess I will. I was too tired. Plus, my dogs were exhausted, We didn't sleep much that night. So anybody here with worm questions? I see there's 2 other people here besides me. Yay! So I don't know. It wasn't today's video. It was the other day. Someone asked me to go live. So since I got this new equipment, I wanted to test it. So sometimes when I plan a live, it's a little more planned. I'll let people know ahead of time that I'm coming on. But I just wanted to make sure this works, And it seems like it does. So whoever's watching, if you can hear me, can you let me know in the chat? I just want to make sure I have the audio on and everything is going well with the audio. What does this do? Whoa. Okay. All right. Okay. I pressed the settings button and it took me somewhere. What does this do? Start a poll, start a question and answer. Ooh, I wonder what that does. So good morning for anyone who's here. Good morning. I don't know if it'll let me share it. I don't know. Lets you set a goal. That's really cool. I like goals. So anyone here have any worm questions? Good morning. Maybe it's too early for people. I'm usually a morning person, but then I'm sometimes a night hawk, Okay, someone's here. Barbara. Hi, Barbara. How are you? Any worm questions? I'm testing out this new equipment I have. I like it. It's working well, and you can see I'm still moving into my new office space. So, and I wish I could take this with me to show the worms, but I have another kind of like a laptop tablet thing that next time I go live, I can charge it and then I can set it up in there, or I can go on my phone, So I'm about to feed the worms in a little bit. I have a watermelon that's kind of expired, and when you cut a watermelon up and it's like spongy inside? Yeah, I don't feel like eating that, so we're going to feed it to them. I got a load of African night crawlers in, and if you watched my video this morning, they were escaping out of the box. So the mail lady put them in a plastic crate, and they were all in there at the bottom, coming out. I wonder what she thought. Oh, you don't understand English. Where are you watching from? Is your name in Greek? Thank you. I try to put translations in my videos, but honestly, YouTube doesn't make it easy to figure out how to do that. So, yeah, my oldest daughter just came back from Italy and Greece, Russia. My name is Russian. My real name is Verushka. My mom gave me a Russian name because my parents are from Cuba, and in Cuba, a lot of people give their kids Russian names. Okay, the heart thing works. I saw a heart fly up. All right. See, sometimes when you go live on YouTube, they have different features on here, especially if you have like a new laptop or something, but they're always changing the features, obviously to improve things. And then sometimes, I don't know which button is what. So I just swing it. I have 100 tiny white things that jump on the cover when I take the cover off. And yeah, those are probably springtails. You'll see springtails if you have a lot of humidity, a lot of wetness in your bin. Um, yes, it is normal. They are part of the composting world. They won't hurt your worms. The only thing that they can do is they can sometimes compete for the food if they are in abundance, if you have too many. So the way you get rid of them, if you want to get rid of them or cut their numbers down, is you start fluffing up your bedding and dry it out just a little bit, because when you dry out your bedding, they disappear. Yeah. So now if you see a little white worm, it's probably a pot worm. Baby worms will always have a little pink color to them, no matter how little they are. They'll never be solid white. And I noticed that I have a lot of pot worms when I feed manure. When I do manure, like rabbit manure, I'll have little pot worms everywhere. And they're another thing. They won't hurt your worms. But if you don't like them or you want some of them to disappear, just dry out your bedding a little bit and they're gone. So this is just, part of nature. It's normal. And worm farming, like everything else in life, you have to learn balance. Too much of one thing is not good either way. So balance is key, and it'll be good. I learned how to do this through just years of experience. And in the beginning, like I killed a lot of worms, unfortunately, just trying to figure out what to do. And every once in a while, still I'll do something and a bin will go anaerobic, which means it like rots in a really bad way. And when that happens, it happens very fast. So you have to take like immediate action. The last time it happened to me, it was with an African nightcrawler bin. And it's strange because I had two bins and one of them went anaerobic and the other one did not. And yet I set them up exactly the same. So something in there went wrong. So I don't know. Hi, Deborah. Good morning. And when that happens, I don't know if it's ever happened to you all, but the smell of an anaerobic bin is horrid. Like I've had to like walk away, take a few breaths. I'm gagging. I almost threw up one time. It was really bad. And I'm usually good with stuff like that. But I did manage to save some of the African nightcrawlers. Not all of them, because some of them had already died, but it happens at times. So bedding in a worm bin is one of the most important things because it's their home and it's where they live. Can you all hear me, by the way? I'm testing out some new equipment I have, and it's the first time I'm using it with a live feature, and I'm not sure if I set it up right or if it's working. Can you all go in the chat and let me know? Okay, sounds good. Very good. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, I don't want to be here like talking to myself. Like blah, 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 blah. So I have a watermelon that's like past expiration date. So I'm gonna cut it in half and give it to them. And I do have African nightcrawlers on my website for sale. And they're not cheap. They're not cheap because I have to pay my supplier for them. So, and you want me to tell you the truth? On each sale, I only make about $10. So it is what it is. But I'm getting ready to set up my Louisiana swamp worm starter colonies because I have a lot of them. And people have asked me what a starter colony is. So what I do is, and people have copied this method of mine. And, when people copy me, there's someone on YouTube that copies everything I do. I take it as a compliment because I just know that I came up with it first. So it just gives me satisfaction. But what I do is I take my giant tub and I divide it in half. And I keep one half so they can keep reproducing, and I sell the other half. So a starter colony is I take the bedding, whatever worms are in there, just whatever's in there, I take it, I scoop it out, I mix it with some fresh bedding, and I pack it and I ship it. And when you get it, you can dump it into your bin, start wetting it, surface feed a little bit, and then the cocoons in there will hatch and they'll start multiplying and growing up. Sometimes I don't harvest all the cocoons out because they're little and I can't see them well. And harvesting cocoons is a lot of work, guys. It is. Like I've had worm farmers message me, why are you not sifting out your cocoons? Well, because it's a lot of work. And a starter colony, I feel, should have the cocoons in them to give you like a head start. So, I just do things my way. People like it, some people don't. But that's all right. Everyone just do your own thing, I'm okay with that. So we got 9 people in here. I put in my description thing. I don't even know if it shows. If you send me a gift, thank you ahead of time. Sometimes I miss them. Sometimes they don't pop up till later. Sometimes I miss them in the chat. So thank you. I just thank you ahead of time. So that's what I'm up to today. I'm working here. I'm going to organize. I'm going to feed the worms, and then I'm going to evaluate my Louisiana swamp worms. I can't find them online. So it took me a year and a half waiting for the person that has like the true Louisiana swamp worms to have them. And always out of stock, always out of stock. So I started messaging them, please, can I just have a little? Can I just buy a little from you? Finally convinced the person to sell me just a little so that because I just need a little bit because I know that I can reproduce them. And I finally got them after a year and a half. The person said, okay. And they send me some. And obviously I paid for them. And that's why I'm able to have the tub that I have. And that's why I'm going to do the starter colonies. So the starter colonies come from inside my wormery, which is indoor climate controlled wormery. Like I don't have the outside critters in here. I know that there's other people that have copied my method, but this is really bad. They drop ship the starter colonies from another place that raises the starter colonies outdoors. So I had a friend who bought a starter colony from them to test it out. And this person told me that since it was outdoors, their starter colony showed up with all kinds of bugs and creatures. And I think the person even said termites. I'm like, no. So anyway, you don't have to worry about that with me because, they're all indoors. They're all my babies in there. I heard something move back there. Ooh. I swear, I think my house is haunted. All kinds of things move in here by themselves. They shift alone. They fall. They sound. I don't pay attention, but I hear things all the time. So for the messages that I've gotten from people, like I'm doing well, my dad passed away. It's been hard on us. I'm still grieving and going through the process. Some days I'm okay. And other days, like I'll see a picture of him and I'll start crying or, but I just try to think of all the good moments I had with him growing up and, even as an adult and all the stuff he did with me in the garden and the worms. And so it's all good. It's a season in my life that, will get better. So, because that's how he was, he was always happy-go-lucky and joking. And, some of my first YouTube videos on my channel are him in the garden and we would play pretend commercials So he would stand next to the compost and say, "Okay, I'm going to do a commercial," and I'd film him, and we would laugh so hard because he was a clown, and it was funny. Hi, Nana. How are you? This is Sandra. I watch all you guys. People think I don't watch their videos. I watch all your videos. I don't comment a lot because I watch a lot of people. Like I watch tons of people. Sometimes I just play y'all in the background while I'm working. So it's important to create a playlist on your channel. That way I could just press the playlist button and it'll play all your videos. So let me see. Yeah, I type a little slow too, and sometimes, I miss things in the chat. Thank you for supporting my business you bought from me years ago. Yeah, sometimes I don't remember who bought what because I've had so many people come through my worm farm, my the garden and worm lady, .com, and wow, it's like. And then occasionally you'll get someone who will, kill the worms. And then 30 days later, I'll get a message, they died. Can I have a refund? No, because I don't know what you did with them. I guarantee live delivery. After that, it's up to you because, I don't know how people set up their bins. They might not do it the way I do it. Yeah, I do. I'm a lot like my dad. But I'm also like my mom as far as like a cook. I was the head cook in a jail that was run like a prison for 4 years. That was the wildest job I ever had, but it was dangerous, and that's why I left. But at the same time, it was so much fun. Some of the stuff I saw in there and the things they would tell me were wild. If I were to ever write a book someday, it would have to be like anonymous. But I feel like I made a big difference in there. There were people in there that didn't know how to cook, and I taught them. And believe it or not, there were people who didn't know how to tie a shoe, like a shoelace, and I taught them how to do that. And but it was time to just move on to something else. And then I became a cook in a bed and breakfast, like a really old house, like we're talking early 1900s, and they would leave me alone in there. I swear I would be terrified because I thought it was haunted. I would hear things, but old houses make a lot of noises. But that was also a fun job. But it wasn't steady, so that's why I didn't stay. So, but I've wanted to work from home for years, and I think I still need to get out a little more, like go to the stores and stuff. Because when I get engrossed in a project, like I'll just stay on the project until I'm done. I'm very driven like that. So, but the worms are doing well, and everyone's doing well. You know what? In this last video, and I know I've told you guys several times, when I get African night crawlers, the first like week, they like freak out on me. I'll find worms on the floor or they crawl out and stuff. This is the first time that I've gotten African night crawlers and they didn't try to escape, not even one. And they've done that even with the light on, and still there's no one tried to escape. No one. I guess the bedding was perfect for them. They liked it. So, so when you're getting ready to receive worms, always have your bedding ready to go, or try to. I'm so guilty of not having it ready and then preparing it when the worms get here, and then I wonder why they try to run. But yeah, try to have your bedding ready at least 4 or 5 days ahead of time. Well, like when you order the worms, start preparing your bedding, and that way it'll be nice when they get there. So, because if you prepare your bedding and let's say you used warm water and that heat stays in there and you put the worms in there, they're going to feel that and they're going to go. You're going to have like massive crawl outs. And yeah, so don't do that. Yeah, so, but Let's see. I harvested worms from my yard and kept them separate like that. Okay. Yeah, anytime you do that, keep your worms separate. Oh, thank you. I appreciate that. I try to be I just try to be myself. Most days I'm laughing and it's just part of my personality. But I do have my days where I'm down and I don't film and I don't do anything because I'm human. But most of the time I'm all right. I put music on and just do my thing. Anytime you get worms from another farm or outside or whatever you do, just keep them separate from mine. Because if I tell you that I'm sending you pure stock, it is pure stock. That's one thing that is very frowned upon in the worm world among commercial worm farmers. Like people lie, like it'll say pure red wigglers on their website, and it's not. And I've never been like that. I just think that's very dishonest, and I don't like it. So if there are blue worms mixed in, just put it. People don't really care. A blue worm is another composting worm. They're just a pain in the butt sometimes. I haven't had them in years though because I was tired of struggling with them. Like the humidity would rise and they'd try to crawl out. The rain, it would start raining and you'd swear they'd had bionic hearing and they'd start crawling out. I was just tired of them. So it took me years to get them out of my wormery because I picked out the red wigglers because I knew how to identify them. And then the blue worms just went out there. And this took me years to accomplish. So, but right now I have the Woodstock bin is doing well. I have African night crawlers, Louisiana swamp boars, red wigglers, and I have Europeans in there, and they're all together. And usually by the end of the season, I will sell off that bin. But maybe this year, since I have a space heater now, I can keep them going through the winter. So, but people like that starter colony because you get a little bit of everything and then you get to see who eats what, who eats more. Sometimes one worm might take over the bin. One time I think it was in my worm factory, I put red wigglers with European night crawlers and the European night crawlers took over. Like I don't know why. I didn't see any of the other ones. So but that hasn't happened in a long time. Like the thing with worm farming is it takes a lot of experience and it's unpredictable. Even with the best experience, things could go haywire. And for me, they have. And I always bring you with me because I not only want you to learn, I want you to see what actually happens. So, like the time one of my African nightcrawler bins went anaerobic and I had to do like an emergency cleanup. I filmed that. That was wild. And I had to step away so many times because of the smell and I was gagging. But I rescued some of them. So you guys have any questions? I'm only going to be on here a little bit longer because I'm testing this new equipment I have and I just wanted to pop in and say hi. I haven't been live in a while. I'm going to go give them the watermelon that I have that's expired and then I'm going to start unpacking and continue moving into this new space of mine. Now this new space is still in my house. It's just Joe and I are empty nesters now, so but we might have one of our little chicks move back home in the summer for a little bit. So I'm looking forward to that. But the weather here, guys, has been insane. We've had tornadoes, tornado sirens. We've had it all. It's spring here in southern Indiana. It's very unpredictable. You just never know what's going to happen. The other night we had to run to the basement like 4 times because that siren was going off and it was very dangerous. And I was just so tired. Oh, thank you. Ona's Vermicompost and Garden. I'll have to check out your channel. I don't know if I have it. Let me see if it lets me look at it now. I'm afraid if I do, I might lose this because I've never seen this. Oh, I'll look later when I go through the chat. So a lot of people are getting into worm farming. If you think you're going to become a millionaire doing this, you're not. You're really not, unless you're going to buy 100 acres and set up. You're going to invest a lot of money before you actually get it back. So, but yeah. So there's a lot of worm farmers I follow on here, but there's some that I don't follow. I don't even watch because just reasons, I don't like dishonesty in the community, and if that's how they are, I don't support. Mealworms. No, if I ever do mealworms, it'll probably be through a drop shipper, because honestly, I wouldn't know how to raise them here. I don't wouldn't know. But doesn't someone on here do mealworms? What's her name? Is it Jane? Doesn't she do mealworms? I think she does. She's so sweet, that lady. Oh my gosh. I love her videos. I forget her channel name. I know it's Jane, and she'll pop up on my thing. And again, create playlists on your channels, guys, because I do watch a lot of people. I just don't comment a lot because I don't have the time. But yes, Rockin' Worms. Yes, she does mealworms. So, and I'm assuming she sells them, so you can find her and get them through her. Yes, Jane, I love her. But I'll go on your channel and I'll look for a playlist, and then I'll click the playlist and I'll let all the videos run while I work and I listen in the background. So make sure you do that. And I have playlists on my channel too. But that's why I can't comment on everything, because I would be just constantly stopping. But I do watch a lot of your videos. But Jane Rockin' Worms, she's really, really sweet. And I believe she also sells them. So yeah, let's support each other. So people have asked me what my favorite worm is. And, I love them all. I really do. But my favorite are the Louisiana swamp worms. I just love them. They are just, I don't know. They're just so well behaved to me. Just had to ask her a question about my pre-compost issue I ran into. Oh boy. Yeah, I usually pre-compost my bedding before I put the worms in, but I have been guilty of not doing that. And sometimes it's been okay, and then sometimes I've had problems. So yes, today actually, I am working with the swamp worms, and I'm going to do the starter colonies. And what I do is, if you all don't know what a starter colony is I take my bin and I divide it in half. And then I take the one half and I grab a scoop of it, babies, adults, cocoons, everything that's in there. It's like a living, mass. And I mix that with bedding and I put that in a 32-ounce container that's also compostable. And then I ship it priority. And I do that until one half of my tub, the giant tubs I use, is gone. And then I keep the other half so that I can mix in fresh bedding and start reproducing again. And that's what starter colonies are. Starter colonies, you need to have patience, because a cocoon takes 30 days to hatch. And that's if your bedding is ideal that you're putting them in. The number one killer of worms is lack of moisture. If you don't keep it moist, they will die. And then you'll wonder why the cocoons don't hatch. Well, they're dry. They dry out. So remember, that little cocoon has that little baby inside that's alive, and so. But yeah, I'm going to get them on my website soon. But some people just throw in bedding and mix it and sell it as a starter colony, but I wait for it to actually become a real starter colony with all the nutrients and all the living organisms in it, because if not, in my opinion, it's not a real starter colony. And mine come from inside. Please, you're not going to get anything from outside like my friend did. Oh my gosh, it was bad. So this person ordered starter colony from someone else who copies my methods. which I think I take it as a compliment. I swear I do. Um, but that person drop shipped them from someone else who was doing starter colonies outside. And when my friend received the order, there were all kinds of bugs in it from the outside, including spiders and termites and things that, was not needed. So it was a hot mess. Like this person, my friend texts me pictures and he's like, "Oh my gosh, look at this." And I'm like, "Yeah, well, that's not good." So, but I will never do that. I don't like that. I think that's wrong. So when just keep an eye on my channel. I will tell you all when they're on the website, and then I'll put them on the website. And then I ship priority. So, and I'm not doing free shipping anymore. I just can't. It's too expensive for me. Shipping priority is between $7 and $10, and depends where you go. Like California is the most expensive because it's the furthest from me. But some places on the East Coast is also expensive. So yeah, I don't know about other people if they're charging shipping. Honestly, I don't check other people's worm websites. I just try to focus on my own. But I can't do free shipping anymore. It's just wild. So, small amount of Canadian night crawlers at locally. Okay, I don't raise Canadian night crawlers because they need refrigeration. And even though I have a fridge down here, I use it for my groceries. And then the bottom shelf of my freezer has like frozen food for my worms, like my food scraps. So that's why I don't raise Canadian night crawlers. Yeah, the refrigeration part is what gets me. So it's good that red wigglers, swamp worms, and Europeans, they don't need refrigeration. So let me see. My daughter called me. I'm going to text her and tell her I'll be there in a few minutes. I'll call you back in a few minutes. I have 4 kids, and I have 2 sons and 2 daughters, and the daughters are the ones that are always like after mom, but I love it. Good. I'm glad. Canadian night crawlers are nice, big, fat worms. So if you find a worm outside, that's called the not the Louisiana, the invasive ones, the Alabama jumpers. At least here in my area, they tell us to destroy them because they're destroying the forest floor, and they're not good. So okay. You see, I don't know. I've never had Canadians. Yeah, they try to run. That's what the blue worms do. They run for the hills. That's why a lot of people that sell pure red wigglers, they have blue worms mixed in, and I can tell immediately by the behavior and by the way they look. A blue worm, the clitellum, the little band is very flat to the body, and their head will be very skinny, and they act like they drank a gallon of coffee. They're very wiggly and jumpy and like that. A red wiggler is more chill. The band around it is more pronounced. It's a little thicker, and they're more calm. You can tell once you start working with them more, you can see their behavior is very different. And but a lot of people that buy worms for composting don't care until they start running away. But you gain experience, and you start learning the behaviors of these types of worms, and you'll see how they act. Like my African night crawlers are strange sometimes. I will have fruit in there, and worms have a sweet tooth, and they won't touch it. They won't until they feel like it, and they finally decide to. I had a bin with them one time with strawberries. They didn't go near those strawberries. Like another worm would have devoured it, but that's just how they are. Yeah, the red wiggler, like the pure red wiggler, Asenia fetida, will have a little yellow tail, and so will the European nightcrawler. European nightcrawler will have that little yellow tail too, but they're chunkier than the red wigglers, so you can tell the difference. They'll be bigger. Even though I've had some big red wigglers because I've done experiments on fattening them up, but yeah. So guys, I got to go because I'm going to call my daughter back. Thank you for joining me. Next time I have a live, I will definitely let you guys know ahead of time. I'm testing the equipment. It works well. So that means that we'll be able to go live more often. And then you guys will have a big question and answer thing. And then just stay tuned. And thank you for subscribing. Press that subscribe button. Share with family and friends. My little speech. It just helps us. And I'll see you all next time. Bye.